5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Hi, friends. Welcome back to another Trip with the Smiths video. We're going to bless you with some updates, some information. We're sitting here on the eve of our first tow with the HDT. Come through. We coming through. What you got, babe?
I don't know what. I just totally blanked out. So,
Y'all know I'm extra. Jeff is not. So let's go, baby.
it's 8:42 right now. After having 8:42 at night, so it's been a long day. It's been a long couple days. It's been a long couple weeks. So we've been in Pensacola a lot in the last 2 years, and as a result, we built up a lot of crap. We had a storage unit that we had to empty out, and we had to do some work on the RV. If you may or may not have caught that, so we wrapped that up, and we've got this HDT that we're just now getting set up to tow. I mean, we bought it ready to tow, but it's like buying any vehicle. You got to get it ready for you to tow and take stuff that we have in storage and load it up to take to Austin to put in our other storage unit, because that's where we started this journey from.
Yeah.
And all that. So it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of long hours, and if you don't know, we work normal hours as well during the week. So
yeah, we not retired like a lot of people think. How y'all do that? We work.
Yeah, we work full time. So we 40, 50 hours a week work, and then everything else happens after work or before work, depending on what's going on. So we thought we'd give you an update and show some of the things we've done, and kind of get a little footage of the beach here and what we do on the beach and the dogs. But we also wanted to talk about the HDT and the process that we've gone through. So if you haven't watched any of our other videos, we bought an HDT. It was registered in Kentucky as a motorhome. If you're not familiar with HDT, it's a heavy-duty truck. It's basically a semi that's been converted to a hauler. So this truck we bought as a motorhome in Kentucky. We brought it to Florida. Florida has different rules for registering as a motorhome. So we thought we'd go through some of the things we've dealt with in converting to an HDT instead of a regular truck. And we had an F350 before, and that was pretty simple. So some of the hurdles that you go through with the HDTs that you see is common thread on all the forums and Facebook groups, which, by the way, is a great place to go get information and resources, is insurance and registration. Those are the two of the biggest hassles with an HDT, with the heavy-duty truck. So insurance rules differ state by state. So when somebody says, "Oh yeah, no problem, we got insurance and it was really cheap and I can do whatever I want with the truck and all that," well, that may be great in their state, but it may be different in other states, especially here in Florida. So Florida, we kind of ran into a little bit of headache getting insurance, but we finally managed to get insurance for the truck and the trailer, and it's a combined policy. The truck is only supposed to be driven with the trailer or to maintenance. Now, that's a key thing, or to maintenance. And maintenance includes any work being done on the truck or getting fuel for the truck. So anytime I'm going to get something, it's getting fuel, right? And I got to get a fuel at a specific gas station at a specific place. So that's kind of my justification. Whether or not it'll work if I get in an accident and the insurance company questions it, that's the way I look at it. I haven't driven the HDT a lot, but I have on occasion. I went to go get stuff out of storage with it. I had to go register it, and a couple other things, a couple actual maintenance things.
Pause. I'm going to close
Candace is dealing with dogs.
I'm going to close them in there because they're starting to play and get loud. So pardon me.
So yeah, we've got insurance on it. We went through an agency called FCIS. I recommend you give them a shot. Had the truck been newer, we would have been able to get insurance that covered us with what's called bobtail driving, and bobtail driving is driving without the trailer. But because the truck is 20 years older, the only way that they'll cover a bobtail is liability only. And I didn't feel like having liability only. If anything, I would like to have liability and comprehensive, just in case. Because if you have liability and a tree falls on it in a campground, you're out of luck. Or if you hit an animal, you're out of luck. So Well, I'm not terribly worried about the collision portion of it because I don't plan on causing any accidents, but stuff happens. I would like to have at least comprehensive. So we got a policy through FCIS that insures the trailer and the truck, and it's a pretty reasonable rate. I recommend giving them a shot, or looking into the heavy duty truck forums and groups on Facebook, because there's a lot of people that have done this, and you need to find somebody that's done it in the state that you're in, because insurance rules vary by state. The other hurdle is registration. So in Florida, you can't convert a heavy duty truck to a motorhome and register it as a motorhome if it has a fifth wheel hitch, and that's just the rules here in Florida. So if it has a weight, it's called a weight, the rule is a weight bearing hitch. So if it has a weight bearing hitch on the truck, you can't do it. Supposedly you can do it with a regular receiver hitch and a pull behind, but I haven't done that. So in Florida, you generally have to register them as a personal truck, and that goes by weight, which isn't really that big a deal, and we were prepared to do that. But I went to the DMV here in Florida. I said, hey, I need to register my vehicle. I gave them the title, and I let them figure it out. They went out and looked at the truck, verified the VIN and the odometer, kind of looked at it like I was crazy for calling it because the title said motorhome, but they registered it as a motorhome. So I'm happy with that. I would have been happy with a personal truck as well, because you can do that. And the insurance doesn't care whether it's registered as a motorhome or a truck. So those two things we managed to finish up yesterday. We kind of wanted to finish them before I did a video to update, but yes, you can register them in Florida without any problem. Yes, you can insure them in Florida with maybe a little bit of problem, but not too much. The other question that we get a lot, especially here in the campground, is do you need a commercial driver's license or a CDL for this truck? Well, no. We're not driving commercially. We're driving privately, so there's no CDL. Now, you may, depending on the state you're in, have to have an endorsement for the weight that you're driving at. For instance, when we left Texas, I think Texas, if you're over 26,000 pounds, you have to have a Class A license. Don't quote me on that. It's 24, 26, or 28,000 pounds, somewhere in there. But basically, we would have had to have that for our current setup with the F350. You have to have a Class A license, and it's just an endorsement on the license. It's not a commercial license. But each individual state has its own rules for driver's licenses. We actually took that into consideration in deciding to domicile in Florida, because Florida doesn't have any inspection requirements for your trailer or your truck. So you don't have to go through that annual pain that you have to do in Texas. And Florida doesn't require any endorsements. I can go out there and buy a 45-foot long motorhome and tow that sucker without a special license. I can also buy a heavy-duty truck and tow this trailer without a special license. So you need to learn how to drive the truck. We kind of did a little bit of that, but you don't need a special license.
I keep you on track. Jeff can talk, y'all.
It's information.
When he turned it on, it's camera on.
So
He can go.
the other thing is that it's with a heavy-duty truck, if you're going to tow a fifth wheel, it's recommended that you get rid of the commercial hitch, because it doesn't have any side-to-side flex, and the suspension of the truck is pretty rough, and you put an air ride hitch on there. We're already big believers of air ride hitches because we used one on our previous
I don't know
truck.
that I know the difference, but okay.
It's a cushion hitch. So this truck came with an air ride hitch. Hopefully it works out well for us. It's rated for what we need to have it rated for. Hopefully we have no issues, because they're kind of expensive to replace.
Yeah.
And we added cameras to it. This truck was set up for commercial, or set up for RVing, but the previous drivers and owners didn't feel a need for a camera or a backup camera, and I did. So I put in a backup camera, and it's wired to add another backup camera and wire the trailer camera in, but I had some confusion on some parts. Need to get some new parts for the trailer portion of it. And the other backup camera, excuse me while I wipe my eye, the other backup camera will go on after we get a drum box mounted on it. A drum box is a big vertical storage box, and I'll put the camera on that instead of the cab of the truck. But we do have a backup camera, so I should be able to hook up without having to have Candace's guidance, which helps reduce the marital strife.
Yes.
And make life a little bit better. So you just lost an earring.
Oh.
So that's what we've been up to. We've been up to getting the truck set up,
right here.
Loaded the truck, loading all our storage crap in it to move to Austin. So right now the truck's kind of full of stuff. Hopefully we'll get rid of a bunch of that.
Yep. And that's because, I don't know if you mentioned, did you say so?
Yeah, we had a storage unit here in Pensacola that we emptied out.
Yes.
And the reason why we did all this stuff, I feel like I said stuff a lot, but the reason why we did all this is because we're heading away from home base, where we've been for a couple years.
While, yeah.
And we're going to the west side of the country, and we plan on staying over there for a couple years. So we didn't want to be paying 2 storage units and all this other stuff and have our stuff split up between multiple places. So we're going to centralize it all in our big storage unit in Austin and then head on out. What you got now that I've talked for forever?
I know. I'm just your list.
My list, yep.
Yep, list that's what we need. Yeah, so that's it. Mention you talked about the hitch. I thought you was going down the list.
I did talk about the hitch. See. The air ride hitch.
My brain. The hitch you said it is almost 9 o'clock.
The hitch you said you didn't know anything about.
And I thought it was something specific though.
No.
Oh, let me see the list.
You see this? I've got a list. I've covered it. She complains about me talking too much, and here she is wanting to go.
I don't have anything else to add besides I'm ready to get on the road. Y'all probably won't actually see the footage of the maybe on Tuesday,
maybe on Tuesday,
depending on editing and stuff. So just y'all have something to look forward to. I know y'all been anticipating this whole move, our first tow. So it's coming. Be patient and we're excited to share it with y'all.
Yeah, hopefully Candace can get some footage. We're gonna have basically the whole campground watching us tomorrow.
So you want to see the whole campground probably in the.
Everybody's gonna come out of the woodwork to watch the heavy duty truck pull the trailer.
See us off.
It should be fun because there's a big tree right in the way, so maybe we'll be able to get out easily, or maybe we'll struggle and we'll ride the struggle bus the whole way. I'm
just gonna say it like this: speaking in existence, it's gonna be just fine. We're gonna be fine. No strife, no worry. We're gonna pull it off, and if we just be patient and be calm. I am the calm and patient one. Jeff, not so much. So, hopefully. You'll take a chill pill.
Hopefully.
In the morning and relax a little bit. Don't be such angst.
We'll see.
But anyway, that's it, y'all. We ain't gonna keep this video going because we just bantering back and forth. Any last words, babes, before I close out?
No, stay tuned for the potential comedy and disaster tomorrow.
Yeah. So
in our next video. I guess it won't be tomorrow, but in our next video.
And one last thing. You do share some footage, right?
Of?
The beaches and stuff, or is that a separate video?
No, it'll go on here. Okay. It'll be. We gotta have something.
We're at the end of the video, so whatever. Anyway, y'all, thanks.
If you stay tuned before she signs off, we'll show you some pictures of the camera install a little bit. Not pictures, but some video and some video of the dogs on the beach. Some drone footage out at Pensacola or at Johnson's Beach to show you kind of why we like this area. We can't take video here where we stay because we're right at the end of an airfield, drone video that is, and we're on a military base, so no drones here. So I had to leave for that. So there'll be a little bit of scenery and other crap at the end of the video. So
all right. So that's it, y'all. Thanks for watching. Again, y'all can look forward to the HDT situation first tow. Give us a thumbs up. Drop any questions you have about HDT. If Jeff didn't cover it, he'll cover it. And it'll help us create more videos around this because I know this is kind of like a niche situation with the heavy duty truck. So ask away in the comments. Share your thoughts or whatever. And like, comment, sub, hit the notification bell, and when we drop our next videos. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
So.
Hi, everybody. All right, I guess.
I don't know if that's the intro for the video.
I just
walking on the beach.
Anyway.
Hopefully we don't get wiped out by the 2 knucklehead dogs running around here. But
in front of us.
Yeah. So this is our second to last beach walk in probably a long time.
Hey.
Because we plan on leaving here tomorrow, and we don't plan on being back to Pensacola other than a short brief visit in May for a year or 2, depending on what life hands us. Last year was kind of a crapshoot for life, but we're hoping for a little bit better this year.
Just threw a wrench in the trap.
So it's been a crazy busy week trying to get a storage unit cleaned out, trying to get a new setup ready to go, add some stuff to our truck, organize stuff and all that. And we're gonna pause for a second here. So anyways, that's the custom marking system, so you remember to pick up your poop.
Pick up the poop bag?
Yep. Otherwise it's easy to forget it. So
Anyways, this is our morning walk,
Here, out of the walk.
and it's quite nice. This is one of the reasons why we like Pensacola.
Except for it's chilly this morning.
Candace says it's chilly this morning. It's not really. It's sunny and beautiful.
You hear the wind?
But the wind is kind of cutting.
Yes.
And we had a series of thunderstorms last night that had the potential to get severe. If you were in Alabama and were affected by it, sorry to hear that. But
Watch out.
we only had regular thunderstorms. We didn't have anything bad. A lot of lightning, but nothing beyond that. What are your thoughts on getting on the road again tomorrow, Candace?
The anticipation is real. I'm ready to do it, to see how it's gonna be. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, this will be, interesting enough, this will be one of the few times Candace has actually had to drive, and she's not driving, towing anything. She's driving the Jeep because the
You're not ready, long story short. You ain't ready to pull it yet, double toe.
Well, there's a couple things, but we ordered a bumper, and the bumper is like a month out for delivery, and that's how we're gonna tow with it.
Yeah.
So instead of a base plate, so we're waiting for the bumper, and then we'll get set up for double towing. But first, we want to tow just by itself to see if it works.
Wrap it up.
And we got people down the beach, so we're gonna cut it and move on. Get desperate. Coming. Jasper's gotten lazy. This dude is out here in the water looking for a fish head that was here yesterday. It was right about this section. For the last 2 days, it's been right here, just kind of in the edge of the water. And now he remembers where it's at, and he's looking for it. He's been searching for at least a minute, maybe 2 minutes. But he's looking for a fish head that's no longer here. But he remembers that it was here. So I guess I can't call him a dumb dog. Yeah. He is executing a search pattern right here. I think he's doing a full grid. And now we got Yeti joining in on the search, looking for a fish head. But Jasper's been at it for a couple minutes now. This dude is searching for a fish head. Go on, Yeti. Boy. Stand off. Kind of. Jasper's gonna nail him. Here he comes. And Yeti goes to a person for protection. For some reason, at the beach, Jasper owns this dog.
He ain't gonna hear nothing you say.
And there's the Blue Angels in the background, so you probably can't hear me. Backup camera stuff we're going to put on the truck today. We're going to get at least some of it installed. There's the monitor for up on the dash, and this camera right here we plan on putting right in front of the hitch, and this camera will eventually go up on the drum box, so it's going to be a high mounted camera when we get the drum box. And then we've got this pigtail to go between the trailer and the truck because there's a camera on the truck, and I've got to make an adapter to convert the cabling, and I've got a couple things for that. And then I've also need to get a connector for the trailer side of it. That's one thing I forgot to get. So this is what we're going to be working on, getting this thing installed so we can see to back up. Right, so here we are. You see I've got my pet loader that's supposed to get the dogs in and out of the truck, but it also works great to get on the bed of the truck. So if you have one of these and you don't want to climb up the bed of the truck, that'll work. I've also got a hitch step to go on the back here on order, or I might get it. I got it in my Amazon box, but I might get it at Home Depot when I run over to get some parts. The one camera is going to go there. I've got to get something to modify that, probably some angle and a square tube to modify that to put the bracket and the camera there, and then to figure out cables. Now, this being my first semi, didn't really know where it was convenient to run cables through it, and I didn't want to drill holes into something. But what I did find is that somebody had started to install an inverter, and they put a throughway inside this box right here, and you can see works out great. I'm just going to pull those cables off because if I put an inverter in here, it will be a little bit heavier cabling, and I'll run that later. So I just stole that, ran it in, and I'm running it up through the box. And then once we get past the box, I pull the door sill. I'm going to vacuum all this crap out and clean it up, and I'm going to run it under the door sill, the 3 cables, and then you can see where it kind of goes up into the trim there and at the top of the dash. I'm not going to run in the dash because I don't want to drill holes in the dash. And there's a nice, if you've never seen a semi dash before, you can look, there's a nice deep crevice there that I can stuff the cables and bring them over to there where I'm going to eventually mount the camera. I've got a modification on order that should have shipped that gives me a nice flat dash there instead of the CB cradle. So I'll probably temporarily mount this until I get that to where I can permanently mount it. So that's running the cable so far. I've also got to run some power cables for the monitor, but there's a fuse box right below that, so I don't think that'll be that hard. So this is what we've been doing. We put a step there in the receiver hitch so we can get into the bed of the truck without too much trouble. Put the camera up there with the plug-in for the trailer on that. That was a 2-inch receiver that was already there, and I kind of used it. I will call that the prototype model. I would like to have something a little bit more finished looking put on there. Excuse the glare, but I didn't take into account the fact that the top plug was a little bit too long for 2-inch. So I'd like to have the 2-inch coming up with a piece of square tube on top of it that's a little bit longer so that I don't have that cable exposed there. That runs down underneath the truck and then goes to the front, to the cab. You can see I've got my cable for the other camera I'm going to do that isn't installed yet because I got to do a drum box, but it runs down into here and into the cab right there. There's a through fitting into the cab, and then it runs under this box here up to the dash, all under this door seal and this mat, into the dash, across the dash, and under there where all the fuses are. You can see we've got our cable running down there, and we've got our backup camera here. I'm trying to figure out how to set up everything so that I can still see the mirrors and not have a cluttered dash. That's going to be a work in progress, I think. Look at the backup camera. It's wired straight in so that I can have it on whenever I want, but I can see the back there. Eventually I'll have 2 backup cameras and the trailer camera wired in. We've got all the wiring done, we just got to get the cameras in place. And yeah, that's where we're at right now. This is tablet mount. This is going to be for navigation and audio. I think I mentioned before I don't want to go through the hassle over replacing that and replacing all the crappy speakers in here. I'm just going to use a tablet and a sound bar and see how that works out. I'm not sure where to put the sound bar yet, but we'll get there. So that is what we've been working on. And this, oh yeah, we've hardwired a
USB mount or USB hub there as well, so we've got all the power for our devices accessible for us. That's going to be mounted down with double-sided tape. Eventually I've got a dash cover on order for this that makes this all flat and gets rid of this crap here, but it's on back order, so we'll get that when we get it, and then we'll rearrange all this, so it maybe will look a little bit neater and a little bit easier to deal with, be a little bit more functional. So that's what we're dealing with. Trying to avoid, if you look up down there, there's a mirror that's really useful for you for when you're moving in lanes, and I'm trying to avoid covering that up. So that's why there's a little bit of spacing in these, and I don't just stack the monitors across there. So if I just stack the monitors across there, then I lose access to that mirror. So that's one of the goals here with that extended mount. Trying to keep access to all my mirrors so I can see and drive safely. So yeah, that's what we're working on.